because that would also trickle down to the local level, which really is where more immediate change is impacted, especially like for programs that impact your daily life. I always use this example, like, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. The town I grew up in St. Louis is called University City, or just U City for short. And we have a program there for any child who enters a public school from the time they're 5 until they graduate when they're 18. They have a savings account automatically open for them. And if they, do well in school, participate in extracurricular activities, or, kind of just good citizens in general, money gets added to that account. And that money comes from parking tickets and I
love that.
And again, that was enacted by city council members. So a lot of, and oftentimes people in these positions, to go back to the two-party system, a lot of the time people who have the most power in politics are in unelected positions.
Yes.
They're positions that they got hired to be there. And especially at a local level, these people could be in those positions for 25 years, and they could be the sole reason why the roads in your town suck, or why they started building this park or this facility, but they never finished it.
Never finished it. And I love like what you brought up, and I'm a big advocate that, minorities, we need, because we talk about every 4 years. Now you want to be in the politics and the president when they're the overseer of the nation. If you really want to make change, that has to be within your own communities. You really have to get behind somebody within your own communities. And if we really want to make real changes, we have to fund those candidates, because once you're at the presidential level, if you're not funding me, it doesn't matter what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think when you get to these big levels, no real changes, especially for our communities, are being made because we don't fund those candidates?
Mm-hmm.
We can say whatever we want. They can say whatever they want, and that's the thing about politics. Politicians, they can talk a good game, but at the end of the day, they don't have to do anything. But at the end of the day, who's funding them? Who is funding them? Where they're going to make the changes. That's who they're going to make the changes for. If we're not funding our candidates, we can't even be mad when no changes that benefit us are enacted.
Yeah, 100%. And two, people in groups, whether it be the Black community, different Latino communities, whatever, you have to realize that at a federal level, we're dealing with like national issues. And, the Black community, so for instance, like outright going for reparations, the country doesn't want that. You know what I'm saying?
They would never. They would never.
That's a conversation. Actually, we should probably do a whole episode on that, talking about like
I'm about to
again, just like
breakdown for the podcast, bro. I have a whole breakdown for reparations, but that it'll never happen on that type of level. You're right.
Why? Because it's not popular enough. So the solution, like you said, is getting our own people in office, especially at a local level, because programs that can directly, I don't remember the exact stats, but that program, it's something like if a kid graduates with $500 in savings in a savings fund for college, they're like that much more likely to graduate and do well.
That is amazing. But that's on the local level. But That's the thing about us. We don't even pay attention to what's going on. We don't know who's on our school boards. These parents are not, the thought is they think of school like babysitters, when you realize that it's a community that raises children. You need to be in these schools. You need to know who's on the school board. You need to hold these local leaders accountable. And if they're not, you need to find one that will. And I played football growing up and in college, and I relate everything to sports because life is sports is so relatable to life. It's just like I played receiver. If I need something, if I want something, and I want to relate up to the head coach, I'll talk to my position coach first, and then he'll talk to the offensive coordinator, which talks to the head coach. The head coach has so many moving parts, just like our state senators, just like the president. There's so many moving parts there that they might not be even worried or focused on what's going on individually with you, because they have so much to worry about. That's why you have to have a good relationship with the local leaders so they can relay the message up. or big them up so much that they're at that level and you already built that relationship with them.
Yep.
So, if I need anything done, I would talk to my position coach. I wouldn't go to my head coach. My head coach is defensive minded. I'm an offensive player,
And he's thinking about too many other things.
He's thinking about so many, there's so many other things to think about. He's not worried about my issues, but my position coach is there to be that ear, to fight for me and fight for my position and fight for, the people in the room. And we were like this, a tight knit room, and that's how we have to be with our leaders, with our local leaders, and we should not just accept everything because we're too used to just accepting things, and not going out and not advocating and not fighting for the things that need to be done.
Yep.